What's a terabyte?
Snap! Hey guys, I'm Tara with Tara Simon Studios.
And I'm Coach Kat.
And she's amazing. And we are going to come at you today with 3 tips on how to beat nerves, okay? This is a really important video for you guys who are wanting to perform live or who have a recording session booked, and what the heck are they gonna do with those nerves? You guys know the feeling, and we know it too. It's those butterflies, it's the heart pounding out of your chest involuntarily, it's the blood flowing, the sweaty palms, the oh my dear goodness, what am I doing?
Voice cracking, just even by talking.
Yeah, that happens too, right? And so all of these things just snowball and compound and create this panic effect. So how do we beat that out? We have 3 tips today. Make sure you watch to the end because they're all just as important as the last. Okay, so the very first tip we're gonna give you today is nail those nerves. How do we nail them? So what happens is all that involuntary stuff, that fight or flight, that adrenaline comes up, and our instant reaction is, oh, I gotta push it down. I gotta stop it. No, actually you don't. The very first thing you should do when you feel like that is physically activate those nerves by doing something that raises your heart rate too. So instead of involuntary raising of heart rate, you are now voluntarily, by jumping jacks, by push-ups, by high runner's knees, by something, you're then making your heart rate go up as well by inciting a physical activity. Mm-hmm. So you're sort of tricking your brain in a way. Your brain is making you nervous without you really wanting to be, but when you do a physical activity, your heart rate naturally raises, and the brain thinks, oh, well, I'm doing something that's making my heart rate raise. I'm a little distracted by that. Right. I'm feeling warm. As a bonus, the blood gets flowing, which is great for your voice, okay, to be fully warmed up bodily as well as vocally. And then after you start to get winded from that, naturally, not involuntarily, then you start to do some slow breathing. Kat, give us some examples because you're great at this. Give us some examples of what you do to slowly breathe after you've winded yourself intentionally.
So I like to, I'm not gonna say I meditate because I really don't, but I like to kind of, when I take in my air, I like to hold it for at least 5 seconds. Close my eyes. You know, don't even imagine anything around you. Don't even look at anything around you. Because sometimes with our nerves, we see people and we see actions happening around us, and that kind of makes us even have more anxiety, even have more of that nerve. So close your eyes. If you can find a quiet space, do so. Close your eyes, breathe, hold for 5 seconds or 3. Don't want you passing out. And then just slowly, don't let it out like that. Just slowly let it out. Mm-hmm. And then do it again.
Yep.
And just keep doing that. And then you'll feel your heart rate slowing down some. And I do that when I have my anxiety attacks or anything like that. That will help a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for people who struggle with anxiety attacks, I'm sure you guys have been given some really great tips and tricks too by healthcare professionals, and you're welcome to use those as well. But that inhalation through the nose, holding, and then exhalation slower than when you inhaled really helps to recenter, drop down, refocus, and lower that heart rate. But the key is to not try to do that at first. Own the nervousness, nail it by physically inducing a raised heart rate yourself, not involuntarily, but voluntarily, okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, trust your training. Be prepared, okay? Kat, talk about, because Catherine actually used to be a TSS vocal student before we took her and turned her into a vocal coach. So Kat, tell us about like past performances when you were a student, before you started training at TSS versus after, and what, if anything, changed when you felt like you trained and were prepared?
So before I started, before I was a student here, I would get nervous a lot. I mean, we still do. We still get nervous. But being prepared is like one of the most important things, especially even if you're singing in front of a coffee shop, whatever it is. Being prepared is so important because not only does it put your mind at ease, you will also know how to attack these notes that you're about to sing fully. So being prepared, knowing the warm-ups that you have trained for, any kind of training that you can quickly remember before you perform will help you feel a lot more confident and a lot more comfortable with going on stage and singing in front of people.
Yeah, more at home, right? Because you've done that by rote, and you've worked this out with your coach, and you have rehearsed it, and your success ratio is like at least a 90-10, right? If I do X, Y, and Z and I hit this note, chances are it's gonna come out like this, right? As long as I'm not veering from my training and trying something new on the spot in a performance, which why would you ever, right? So trusting your training and being prepared tells your brain, hey, you've prepared for this. You have a right to be here. You've done the work. You are not an imposter. You are not inferior. You're not less than. You can be confident. You can trust. What's going to come out is going to be great, okay? What's going to happen is what's happened before because you've practiced it.
Right, and also something that I do too, you don't have to do 3, you could do 2 or 3, but before you go up to sing, and if you are having that panic attack kind of moment, pick 3 things that you remember from your training that you think you can apply to right now.
Ooh.
That's something that can be like quick throw, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pick 2 or 3 things that you can quickly think about. Okay, so this is how I breathe. This is how I'm going to execute this note or this song. You know, just go back to your training. Obviously, don't do a whole list because you're about to go up on stage. Just 2 or 3 things like that. You get it.
Yeah, I love that. That's actually a really good tip. Yeah, true. Okay, so that's tip number 2. The third tip, and this is really an important one, guys, because I think we think this as singers subconsciously, and we don't even know we're thinking this, but it's not you against them. It's not you as a singer against the audience. Let me just blow your mind over a really simple fact right now. If you are performing live somewhere and you're on a stage and there are rooms and scads of audience members out there, okay? Whether it's virtual, whether it's in a theater, wherever it is, concert stadium, whatever, those people are there because they want to be.
Right.
You didn't drag them by the nose. You didn't beg them to come. Chances are they either paid to come, they came for free on their own volition. They're there to experience something that they cannot do on their own, that they need you for, and they are rooting for your success because guess what? That means that they had an enjoyable time. They experienced something with you that you were able to commune and give to them, and they were able to give you their feedback by applause and their emotional commitment to your emotional commitment. They're your cheerleaders. They're rooting you on, right? And as singers, sometimes we are about to take that first step on a stage and we're thinking, oh God, I gotta prove myself to these people.
They're staring at me.
They don't like me. They're sitting there like this. Just because someone's sitting there like this does not mean they're not rooting for you.
No,
they don't have to.
Face.
Yeah, they're just waiting, right? They're not the ones in the spotlight. They don't need to be on, right? But they're there because they want to be. You need to remind yourself of that. If you're a recording artist and you're releasing a song or you're about to record the song that you know you're intending to release, remember this. When someone streams your song or presses play, they're doing it because they want to. You're not begging them to do it. You're just saying, hey, single's out. Check it out if you want. And they are. They're not. Everybody's going to have an opinion about your performance and an opinion about your song. But that doesn't mean you're forcing them to listen or you're forcing them to press play. Fact. Not everybody in the world is going to like the sound of my voice. Fact. Not everybody in the world is going to like the sound of Catherine's voice. I personally, Siren. Woo!
Dance party. Hopefully they're okay. Dance party.
Right. Let's pray for them. I personally think that Coach Kat has a gorgeous voice. Okay, I have a little bit of FOMO actually in her big beefy just notes, and I'm like, wow, this is like amazing, you know? It's like, and I'm serious, she's such a beautiful singer. I love her voice, but there are some people guaranteed in this life who are not gonna like the way she sounds, and she has to be okay with that. It's just like a person, like sometimes you may not be someone's cup of tea, but there's someone out there for everyone, and there are fans out there for every artist.
Right, you can't make everyone happy.
You cannot, not as a singer, not as a person. So tip number 3, guys, you have to remember, it is not a you against them thing. It is you with them. Everybody that's on a stage is there because they want to be heard, be known, and matter.
Right.
And everybody in an audience is there because they want to hear and know and also matter.
Right.
They want to experience, and it's a mutual exchange, right? You have not forced them to be there. So those 3 tips, guys, nail your nerves, trust your training and preparedness, and it's not you against them. If you can remember these 3 things before you take to that recording studio vocal booth, or before you take to that stage, or even that audition, by the way, you're gonna be such a more successful singer. You're gonna land so many more parts. Your performances are gonna get better and better. And by the way, the beauty of this is that once you have a good experience putting this into practice, it only snowballs. Your body and your brain is only more encouraged to create that new neural pathway of positivity.
Confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then you can trust you had a good experience. You'll do it again and again and again, right? Because it works.
Right.
So any questions about this, please put it in the comments below. If you guys have anything tutorial-wise that you'd like us to do, whether it's with Coach Kat or any of my other amazing coaches at TSS, put that in the comments below also. Make sure that you check out the description box of this video because there are many links there to help guide you on your vocal journey, maybe taking you from bad to good or from good to great. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel, click the notifications button, spread some love, not some germs, and some faith, not fear. Be a random blessing in some stranger's life because you know that we all need it. Thanks so much for being the best part of my channel, guys. Coach Kat and I, we love you. We are proud of you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
And I'm hanging on top.